News comes in so many different flavours these days.
Starting at Houghton Avenue and going all the way to State Avenue.
Jimmy Kimmel and Dean Cook are actually fucking massively gay.
Right into your vag. Fucking dumb.
You name it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's getting harder and harder to tell what's legit and what's not.
Go ahead. No, not you. Not you. Your organization's terrible. Quiet. Go ahead. She's asking a question. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news.
This video is brought to you by a brand new app designed to revolutionise the news landscape. News Voice gives you a personalised news feed by aggregating major news sites, as well as international and independent media. You get breaking news and up-to-date stories from multiple sources all in one place. Each news story shows multiple sources which are all tagged with their bias and perspective. It's a completely open and democratised platform for news, and it's completely free. Download the News Voice app from the link in the description. It won't cost you a cent. If you've never tried what I'm about to tell you, you are missing out, and you need to get on this shit straight away. Okay, so next time you're out driving somewhere with your girlfriend, or boyfriend, or mum, it doesn't really matter, find the gayest 90s dance song you can think of, find a crowded area like a shopping centre or something, roll down your windows, crank the fucking fuck out of the volume, like make it so loud you can feel the bass in your chest, put on a super serious expression, and then do this. The level of cringe you will experience from your passenger's face will keep you chuckling for hours.
Two people have been arrested after controversial protests in Melbourne's CBD. Some scuffles broke out at the March for Men protests between those advocating for men's rights and counter-protesters.
Come again?
Some scuffles broke out at the March for Men protests between those advocating for men's rights and counter-protesters.
Between those advocating for men's rights and counter-protesters?
And counter-protesters.
What were they counter-protesting?
Against fascism and racism.
Men's rights are now considered fascism and racism.
Fascism and racism.
Dripping
with autism.
A 25-year-old man was arrested over willful damage and a 33-year-old man was arrested for riotous behaviour. Police deployed around 150 officers to the event, but say that overall, most people were well behaved.
So this all started when YouTuber Sydney Watson announced this March for Men about a month ago.
As many of you know, over the last number of weeks, it has felt like there's been an assault on men collectively.
It is not women's fault that men behave like morons and like pigs.
Changing the behaviour of men.
I don't believe you're innocent of being a predator or a harasser.
I know that this has upset a lot of men and women alike, and a lot of people are very distressed that they don't feel as though they can support men's rights, masculinity, and men in general without being judged. That's why we're gonna have a March for Men. I want to make it abundantly clear that the purpose of this rally is not to hate on women, to diminish women's rights, or to make any negative statements about women. What we're trying to do is show that we care about the men in our lives and we care about the issues that concern them as well.
Well, she seems nice, and that seems reasonable. So where did all this angry opposition come from? Well, remember when Lauren Southern and Stephen Molyneux came to Melbourne to do a talk, and that group of protesters who all looked like they needed a wash and a change of clothes turned up and made complete dickheads of themselves?
You fucking point gangsters! Fucking idiots! Fucking idiots!
Fuck off!
You're a Nazi! Fucking idiots! I want to bully you and steal your lunch, mate!
Well, apparently some of those people were from a group called CARF, Campaign Against Racism and Fascism. Now when CARF heard about this March for Men, they immediately announced a counter-protest. This is the event description on their Facebook event page. I'm going to read it all the way through, then we'll discuss. Join the National Union of Students Women's Department in the campaign against racism and fascism for this counter-protest to the March for Men. What are we protesting? The March for Men Australia has been called by two far-right Melbourne personalities, Sydney Watson and Avi Yemini. They have called the rally to remind men that it's okay to be masculine. Globally, men's rights activists have operated as a gateway drug for the alt-right. Their campaigns seek to enforce rigid gender norms, sexist stereotypes and violence towards women. In Australia, new groups such as the Proud Boys have been established, which celebrate rape and decry women's equality. These are worrying trends. Who are the organisers? Sydney Watson is an alt-right YouTuber and journalism student. She has 27,000 subscribers on YouTube and 47,000 likes on Facebook. She hosted the Young Conservatives in the pub event and has modelled herself on Canadian far-right personality Lauren Southern. Avi Yemini, I think I said Avi Yemini before, I don't think that's right. Avi Yemini is a far-right Melbourne man. He is running with the Australian Liberty Alliance in the state election. Although Jewish, he is openly consorted with convicted anti-Semites such as Neil Erikson. He campaigns on a far-right platform of Islamophobia and has organised demonstrations designed to whip up anti-African racism. Why should we protest? Across the world there are growing far-right movements. Sexism and misogyny are key to these movements. In Australia, these tendencies are starting to develop a base. It is vital that a counter-narrative is publicly maintained. While Watson and Yemini, or fucking Yemini, try and present their attitudes as apolitical and inoffensive, it is important to demonstrate where the logic of their movements head. Okay, well, wasn't that fucking retarded?
Dropping.
Firstly, how the fuck have men's rights activists operated as a gateway drug to the alt-right? Being concerned with and taking steps to improve the rights afforded to men has nothing to do with your political leaning. To say that men's rights activists campaign to normalise sexist stereotypes and violence against women is incredibly dishonest. I'm not saying there aren't any complete fuckhead men's rights activists, but where are these campaigns and who's running them? Certainly not Sydney Watson.
I want to make it abundantly clear that the purpose of this rally is not to hate on women, to diminish women's rights, or to make any negative statements about women. What we're trying to do is show that we care about the men in our lives and we care about the issues that concern them as well.
And when somebody shows me some evidence that the Proud Boys celebrate rape, I'll be the first to disavow. But I don't think it's going to happen. Celebrate rape, what a fucking absurd thing to say. And why is the fact that Sydney Watson hosted a Young Conservatives event a bad thing? Good on her, I hope she does more of them. And I hope she ends up with a shitload more than 27,000 YouTube subscribers out of this. In fact, let's all go subscribe to her just to piss these faggots off. I mean, I'm sure she makes great videos too, but fuck these guys. Now, from what I've seen, Avi Yemini just seems like someone who's passionate about his country. He's not racist or Islamophobic for pointing out and discussing assimilation issues he sees in Australia's migrant communities. To call these two people fascists and Nazis is really fucking dumb. They're using their voices to express their opinions. That's what civilised people do. Now, of course, these CARF idiots had every right to turn up and oppose the people attending this men's rally. But considering they're not looking to take anything from anyone or make anyone's life any worse, it was always going to be pretty hard not to look like a bunch of massive cunts in the process. Now, I'm more than happy to have a live discussion with any of these CARF people. If I've got something wrong here, I'm quite prepared to change my stance. So if your message has any substance to it, I'll hear from you. See ya.
Recession, session. Give me better ties, give me